everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer. Today I am going to bring you another tutorial. I know I don't make tutorials very often, but I have been asked very recently. I've been asked to make a lot of tutorials, okay? But tutorials are not always my thing. I gotta be in the mood to make a tutorial. So I showed some of my hand towels in very recent videos, okay? I am going to show you guys how to make this one-piece hand towel. This hand towel can be used in your kitchen, in your bathroom, wherever you have hand towels laying about, next to any sink. You can make some of these for your husband's work sink. If he has like a sink, like a utility sink, you can totally make him some of these. They are made out of Premier Home Everyday Kitchen Cotton. Well, it's not kitchen cotton, it's everyday home cotton. Not everyday. That's not the name of it. Premier Home Cotton. Okay. Now, you can use this type of cotton. You can use the Just Cotton from the Dollar Tree. By the way, you can also order this yarn on Dollar Tree's website for $1 a piece as well. You just have to purchase them in multiples of 6, and it takes 2 of these to make a hand towel. So keep that in mind. Either of these will work. These are basically the same yarn. I did a test on them. These are just slightly thinner. Okay, so for today, we have 2 of these. We obviously did it in this color. But you need 2 of these little home cottons. These are 96 yards each. The home cotton, as I tell you in the video when I'm doing the tutorial, I actually tell you all about this cotton. This cotton is available in this type of colorway, multi-colorways. It is available in a self-striping colorway. It is available, Just Cotton is the marl. There is also a splash version of this. There are solids of this. There are all kinds of varieties of Premier Cotton. Okay, you're going to need a 5mm hook, because that's what works best with this yarn. You're going to need a button. Just one singular button. You're going to need some needle and some thread. A needle and some thread. And that's all you're going to need to make this cute little hand towel. These are machine washable and dryable. You can put these on high in the heat. They're going to last in hot water. They're going to last in blasted high heat of the dryer. You can use this, fold it over. You can use it to pick up your pots and pans if they're hot. This is a very versatile hand towel. And this hand towel I made in the color blue for my daughter's bathroom. Well, the children's bathroom, because little man uses it too, but I'm so used to calling it her bathroom. It's their bathroom. So all one piece. It's all one piece. Beautiful, beautiful little hand towel for your kitchen, your bathroom, your garage. It doesn't matter, wherever you need a hand towel at. All right, guys, let's get started. Now that we have our supplies ready, let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, so to get started, we are going to make a slip knot. And then we are going to chain 40. All right, let me grab a little bit of lotion to put on my hands. Probably should have did that first. My hands are a little bit dry this AM. I hope you guys are going to enjoy the sounds of the wind chimes and the birds. I really need to get out there and fill up my bird feeders. They're empty. All right. Hand cream is on. Now we can do this. Now, if you don't like the width of the 40 stitches, if you want it to be wider or narrower, you can add, this is just going to be a multiple of 2. It's not a big deal. All right, so we chained 40. We are going to go into the 1, 2, second chain from the hook. And we're going to put a half double crochet. And we're going to do half doubles all the way across this first row. And you should have, at the end of the row, about 38 half double crochets. Unless, of course, you changed the count, the cast on stitches. It's not knitting, it's not cast on. your first row, your chain row, you can change that. Just make sure it's a multiple of 2. The reason I like well, I can't say it's the only reason. The reason I make these hand towels for my bathrooms is, honestly, it breaks down to it's a little bit cheaper to make this than it is to buy hand towels. And I also like, these are thicker than the hand towels that I buy. They are very durable. They hold up to the washer and dryer very well. Like these last me a while. But also, I can go in there and I can make this for any holiday. I can change up the colors. And it makes me happy. I told the story recently of I had a winter towel in the bathroom, which was blue. It was beautiful, like aqua turquoisey blue. And it had a big white snowflake that I crocheted and put on the towel. And that's another way you can change these up. You can make any appliques that you can find and sew them down to the towel, and then you can make it even more festive for holidays. Like you can make a little Christmas tree or a Christmas wreath or a Valentine's heart or a shamrock or, you know, Easter egg. You can do all kinds of stuff to make these towels even more festive-y. Now this one is probably going to go in my children's bathroom because their bathroom is shades of blue. And I think this will go really well in their bathroom. All right, and then you're going to chain 1, which I already did, but I didn't tell you that. Because I'm so used to making these, my brain just goes. Now, we are going to do a very simple stitch. Every single row will start with a single crochet, followed by a double crochet, followed by a single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet. You're going to do this all the way across. Just single, double, single, double, single, double, single, double. Okay? I like the texture that this stitch gives to hand towels. Also, it makes a really nice stitch to use for washcloths, which I probably, when I'm done with this, will probably also make a matching washcloth, just because that's what I like to do. And then you have like a little washcloth sitting on the sink if you need it that matches the hand towel. Of course, if you don't want to make a washcloth, you don't have to. I have been asked several times to make this this tutorial for this towel, and it's so easy, but I forget that not everybody can just, like, you know, whip something up from simple directions that I post in the comments. And so I figured I would get on here, I would make a quick little tutorial. Now this, much like most of my other tutorials, I'm not going to tell you how many rows to go. I'm going to tell you to go and keep repeating this same stitch over and over again until it gets to the length that you think a hand towel should be. If you want, you can measure your hand towels at home if you like those lengths and say, hey, I'll make it that long. All right. So our last stitch here is going to be a double crochet. Every row will start with a single and end with a double. Every single row. And then you chain one and you go up, and because that's a double crochet, on the top of that you are going to single crochet, and on top of the single crochets you're going to double crochet, and then you're going to single crochet. It's the same exact line over and over again. Single, double, single, double, single, double, single, double. It's very easy. It's very, I can watch TV while I do this. Unless this is a new stitch for you, then by all means, you don't concentrate, but. So, yeah. I make these hand towels in the middle of another project. Like if I just finished a big project and I don't feel like getting into another big project, or if I can't figure out what to make, but I want to make something, or if I want to jazz up the bathroom, like this will be my in-between projects, like something to not really have to think about, something that just is a relaxing thing. You can take your time with it, but it's not going to take a long time to make this towel. You can have one of these done probably in under an hour. Single, double, single, double, single, double, single, double. And there are so many different types of cotton on the market right now. Different designs, like they have this speckled one, obviously. Premier Yarn specifically has the splash line, which is kind of like an acid wash, is what I would refer it to, as kind of like an acid wash. Then you have this line, which is the speckly type line. They have solids. They have, and the splash, I will also say the splash goes from dark to light. So while it will have like acid wash effects to it, it will also go lighter, darker, darker, and then back lighter, darker, darker. Okay, we finished that row with a double crochet. I'm going to start the next row with a single crochet, like with every single row. They also have striping cottons now. And I really love the striping cotton. The striping cottons look beautiful in a hand towel because then you don't have to stripe in any other colors. But totally, if you wanted to stripe in colors with this, you just go a couple rows, add a different color in. Go a couple rows, add another color in. I have done that. And then they also have, at the Dollar Tree locations, they have the Just Cotton. And they have it in solids, and they have it in this marled. Which marled is basically just two colors held together and twisted together. So there's so many different ways that you can make this towel, this hand towel, like make it your own, make it beautiful. And then again, you can also like do it all in one solid color and then sew on some appliques, some appliques. Like my winter towel that has a big snowflake on it. And if you're looking for appliques, Jayda N Stitches has a ton. She's very good at creating little sew-on pieces out of crochet. And they will add something to the towel. And if you make them out of the same cotton, like it's just, it actually adds to the absorbency of the towel. And I use and abuse my towels, like, because, you know, we're trying to be more healthy, wash our hands more frequently, just because of everything that's going on in the world. And when you wash your hands more frequently, you use your hand towels more frequently. And especially since I can't use hand sanitizer anymore. So, yeah, good old soap and water for me. And my towels have lasted me, I think I started my first one about 2 years ago, and they're still, I can hang them back up for the next holiday after I have had them up from the previous year. This is what we have so far. Like I said, we're just going to keep going. Start every row with a single crochet, end every row with a double crochet. You want your single crochets to be on top of your double crochets from the previous row, and double crochets on top of your single, whatever. You ever say something and you're like, oh my God, did I get that wrong? Did I say that twice? Did I? That's what my brain just did to me right now. I was like, did you just say the same thing twice? I have no idea. I'll figure it out when I watch the video, when I'm editing. There's actually blue sky out today. It has been gray for weeks and weeks. I'm just ready for spring. Usually by this time of the year, because what is today? I'm recording this video on, I think it's February 18th that I'm recording this video. Usually by now, there are signs of daffodils popping up in this area. At the very least, like the hyacinths might be starting to pop through the ground, and none of that is happening right now. My flowers are all like, I can't come up yet, it's too cold outside. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready just for warmth. We're supposed to be getting some more ice and snow this week. Not really looking forward to that. But I'm just going to say I'm glad I don't live way up north anymore. Because when I lived in Michigan, we would have 4 solid months of winter. And that was very hard. I was not fond of that. At least here it's only been a couple weeks. Then we end our row in a double. Chain 1 turn. Single crochet. Now, of course, if you don't want to do this stitch, you could always do this entirely out of any stitch you want. You could do singles, you could do doubles, half doubles, doesn't matter. It will give it a different look, and it won't be as textured, but it will still be a fine towel. And I do have towels that are made entirely out of half double crochets. I have towels that are made entirely out of double crochets. You can also switch it up. You can do this for a couple rows, and then switch to a different stitch, as long as it's a multiple of 2, then you can put in any stitch, or multiple of 4 or 6 for that matter. As long as you can divide it by the number by 2, then you can put that in here for the most part. Might have to do some finagling, but you can get it in. And I like to do that with my washcloths, especially. If I'm doing a washcloth, I do not ever make my washcloth all out of one stitch. I will do a couple rows of this, and then I will do like the camel stitch to divide it. And then I'll throw in some like bobbles, and then some star stitches for my washcloths. I just like to mix it up. I get bored easily. I get bored very easily. With this one, we're just going to do this stitch all the way to the top. Easy peasy. You know, this is the first time in a very long time I have used my boy hook instead of my furls hook, because I can't find my furls hooks. I mean, I have some of my big furls hooks and some of my small furls hooks. I cannot find, because this is a 5mm. Can't find my 5mm. Although I think it's upstairs with some other project I was working on. I think I left it in the yarn bowl. So I had to switch to the good old boy. But this is how I learned to crochet on boy, so it's not a big deal. These are the first hooks I ever really purchased for myself. And they used to be my favorite for a long time. I liked the rubberized handle on these. And then when you're crocheting, there's almost like, it feels like there's a slight curve. Of course, that could just be my imagination, but they're decent hooks. But I can feel the difference between this and the furls. The furls are smoother, they glide better. And this right here is snagging a little bit. So there's a difference. Still a fine hook. I always find it interesting when people talk about the different hooks and how there's some people that absolutely hate Furls hooks. They hate them because they're heavy or they're, I don't know, maybe they're too slick. Like I've seen a lot of people who have a hard time with them. Or maybe because the way they hold their crochet hook. I hold it knife style. Some people hold it this way, which, you know, I don't know. I just can't do it that way. It's like a foreign language to me. So it may have something to do with the way they hold their hooks or what they're used to. I always laugh because people get so offended lately, like very easily about stuff. Like if you don't do the same thing that they do, they get offended and they get all butt hurt. Like your body's not the same as theirs, so of course, like different things are different to them. Like it's okay to be different. I don't understand that whole mentality of you need to believe exactly what I believe. Well, no, I don't, because I have lived different things than you've lived. I've had different experiences than you have. It's just kind of sad. Like our species has been around millions of years, but we still can't figure out how to be okay with somebody having a different opinion than them. You know, I don't understand that. Like yarn preference. I've seen stuff online. Actually, just it hurt my stomach to read it or listen to it. People get so mad when someone doesn't like a yarn that they like. You guys know I'm not a big fan of like Red Heart Super Saver. But the reason behind that is, you guys know I have skin issues, you know? And I also have texture issues. Like there are some textures that my body just cringes at, and like crunchy or scratchy yarn makes me cringe. Like, so I like, there's some wools I can't use. There is a lot of yarns I just refuse to use because it bothers me. And it actually will give me goosebumps. Like it bothers me that bad. Just touching it. I can't touch cardboard boxes right now or paper bags. It's terrible. I can't touch any of it. It makes me cringe. So there's like, you know, there's issues where people just, you gotta stop being hurt about stuff like that. Stop being hurt that people don't like the same thing that you don't like, you know? It's all right if we have difference of opinions. I also can't stand Jell-O. I cannot eat Jell-O. Jell-O makes me cringe. I don't know why. I've never liked the taste of, or the texture of Jell-O. Can't put a popsicle stick in my mouth. Popsicle sticks make me cringe. I can't even watch somebody bite on a popsicle stick. Like, it bothers me. And some yarns I just don't like. Some hooks, there's hooks I don't like too. There's not many hooks I don't like because I'll work with anything, but, you know, it's just always funny to me. But I don't understand, like, being so upset that somebody has a different opinion than you that you're going to call them names and yell at them and tell them they're stupid. I don't get any of that. That's why I always tell you guys, like, when I'm doing a yarn review, I'm always like, hey, just because I like something doesn't mean you have to like it. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean you're going to hate it. That's also why I recommend other podcasters that review the same yarns as me, because I want you guys to not just go out and like buy yarn because I said it's good yarn. Because just because I like something don't mean you're going to like it. I have gotten emails. Now you guys know I love Muirwoods. I've gotten emails that people don't like Muirwoods because they find it splitty. I don't find it splitty, but I also use a bigger hook than recommended. But I don't ever get mad that somebody doesn't like Muirwoods. Like, it's their prerogative to not like it. It's not even a soft yarn. Like, it's not scratchy, but it's not real soft either. So I could see why people wouldn't like it. And hey, I'm cool with that. But I don't understand. I really don't understand someone having a different opinion than you and you like calling them out, like yelling at them and calling them names, and that's just nonsense. That is such nonsense. If you're one of those people that get all butthurt about stuff like that, please stop it. They're allowed to have a different opinion. There's just too much, there's too much drama in the world. Like, don't add to it. I know there's also a lot of podcasters that don't like home cotton. They hate this stuff. I love working with it. I love home cotton. I love how sturdy it feels. It's not soft, but it's not scratchy at all. Like, and it doesn't bother my hands, but I could see, like, after a while, like, it does dry my hands out a little bit because the cotton, like, wicks away moisture, which is why I had to put on hand cream at the beginning of this. Working with any yarn too much actually wicks the moisture, the softness out of my hands lately. I love making stuff like this. I have so much cotton, you guys. I have pounds and pounds of cotton. Mr. Cinnamon keeps buying it for me because he sees it at the Dollar Tree especially, and he's like, oh, she doesn't have this color, and he buys me a whole bunch of cotton. Like, I got six of these for Valentine's Day because he saw it and knew I didn't have that color. And then one of you lovely ladies sent me the really big skeins of cotton, which I got for Valentine's Day, which was super sweet. But I caught some really killer deals on cotton. The Premier Warehouse sale, they had a 3-pack of the really giant skeins of cotton for $5. So I bought several of those. And then they had a sale on their website. It was the same type of sale. 3 in a bag for $5. Although I'm getting good because now that I know that my sister crochets, which I'm so happy to have someone that I can talk to about crochet like that. Like, it makes me so happy to have someone I know in my personal life that crochets now. She makes a lot of my hair nets, the hair net that I made some time ago. There's a tutorial. I'll link it below. She makes a lot of them because she works in the kitchen area of a retirement facility, and they all are required to wear hair nets. And she slings them at work. So, like, a lot of people, they were going to the beauty supply shop and they were getting these hair nets for like $8, $10, $13, right? And she brought one to me one time and she's like, can you fix this? Like, it's broken. I don't want to have to buy another one. They're kind of expensive. And I was like, I'm going to fix it for you, but I'm going to make you one out of cotton that you whatever. And she's okay, but we just can't, I don't think we can do wild colors. We got to do like natural hair colors. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. I had some brown or something laying around somewhere. Her hair was brown at the time. Well, come to find out, they are allowed to wear colored hair nets. Now that she has brought them into the building, they're like, yeah, you can wear colored hair nets. And so now all these people are ordering hair nets from her. And she's slinging them at work and making profit because, it doesn't take her very long to make a hairnet. The cotton is not very expensive. And I've also gifted her a ton, which is where the story was totally going with this. I keep gifting her. I've gifted her a couple of the really big skeins because I would get a 3-pack for $5. But I make a lot of little stuff, so I don't need those big giant skeins for a lot. And I would give her like one of the 3 skeins of the colorways that I get. And she appreciates it because she's just making profit at that point when she makes the hair nets. She also is making a ton of ear savers for the same reasons. Like, they're required to wear, actually, she wears 2 layers of face mask because I made her a Beauty and the Beast one out of cloth. And then she wears the required N95 or whatever those masks are underneath it. And so she just clips those onto her ear savers. And she found a new design that I was really impressed with. She made some that are adjustable. And so instead of just the string hooking around the button, they actually like fold over like this. And the button goes through different areas of the ear savers. I love them. They're really cool because they fit me and they fit little man. And I can just pop a couple in my purse and especially at Disney World, because at home we wear the like soft cloth ones from Disney, and they're really, really comfortable, and they're breathable, but they're still safe. But when we're at Disney World, because it's Florida and it's hot and it's humid, we wear especially I wear the paper ones, because I can't breathe in a cloth one, but I can breathe better in a paper one. And then after the day, like, they cut into your ears really bad, and seeing your little baby boy with cuts in the back of his ears was not cool. So my sister made us a bunch of the ear savers out of cotton, and she sent them on her well, not on her way. She sent them to us. And we use the heck out of those when we're in Florida. What's funny though is, like, when we go out of town, because we wear the mask like all day, every day, the second you step out of your hotel room, you have a mask on for the entire day. You don't take it off, just for safety measures, you know. And when you come home, you're so used to having it on your face all day that you get out of the car and you forget to put it on, because usually it's already on your face. And so that's what I've been doing, is I keep forgetting to put it on. I don't mind wearing the masks, but I really am looking forward to just breathing fresh air and not worrying about that, not worrying about hand sanitizer burning my skin. I have a lot to look forward to when all of this is past us. Wow, we've gone a long ways. Making some good progress here. I keep sliding my this is actually foam board I'm working on, because the table now used to be this color, and now the table underneath it is written on, and no amount of alcohol or soap or cleaning has taken the permanent marker off, just because of whatever this table is made out of. So I put this foam down, which I use these foam tiles for a lot of things. These are like floor tiles, and now you can't see what I'm doing. I use these, they're interlocking floor tiles. The opposite side of them is like a wood grain. I use them for blocking. I use them for photographs of projects I've made. I use them for these tutorials. I had a really good deal on them too, so like I've definitely got my money's worth out of these foam tiles. Just talking about all kinds of stuff today. All right, well, this is going to probably take me another half an hour, 45 minutes to get up to where we need to be. So I'm going to give you a quick little intermission, a little break, and continue making the towel. I will be back in for you like 30 seconds. Well, 2 seconds actually. But for me, it'll probably be like half an hour, 45 minutes. I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. Start every row in a single, end every row in a double. Single, double, single, double, single, double, single, double, until we get about the length that we want our hand towel to be. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, so we've been crocheting for a while now. I'm getting my tape measure out, which I can't seem to find it. You know, I have 5 tape measures and none of them are in here. Hang on. My tape measure is probably upstairs. And I know that these wonderful little wrappers on the Premier Home Cotton have a tape measure on it. You just have to open it up. So, there you go. You don't need a tape measure for this. And then we will measure. This is approximately 8... 9, 10, 11, 12 inches. So we'll say our towel is 12 inches. 12 inches. Now we are going to start, and this is the second ball. I actually had to add a second ball about right here. So the last several inches has been part of the second ball. And at this point, we are going to start making our topper, which is going to close off and it's going to be a strap. And at this point, you can change color, okay? If you want to have like a darker blue color, or you want to add like a white topper, you can feel free to do that. I'm going to continue with the same color because I don't want to have to put this yarn in my scrap pile. So let's get started with our topper. Now, as always, that last stitch was a double crochet, but instead of doing a chain 1, we are going to chain 1, 2, and 3 and turn our work. This entire top row is going to be 2 double crochets together. So you're going to do half the double crochet in that stitch, go to the next stitch, and do half the double crochet. You'll have 3 on your hook and take off all 3. Let me bring you in a little closer so we can see what we're doing. You're just going to do that all the way across. Yarn over like you're making a double crochet. Do the first half. Yarn over, go into the next stitch. Do the first half, and then you'll have 2 halves of a double crochet. And then you pull through all 3. We're just going to do that all the way across. 2 double crochets together all the way across. And what this is going to do is it's going to pull all of it together. And it will, you're going to see, it's a neat effect. This is a very easy pattern once you figure out what you're supposed to do. It's so easy. Two half doubles all the way across. Oops. I slipped out. Oops. Come on, Jen. It's 2 together. I came up with this design some time ago. And I always show it because I make these towels a lot. I have quite a few of them. I love these. These make good gifts for housewarming gifts or for Christmas gifts even. My sister loves receiving these. And I love making them. They're a lot of fun. Just going to continue doing two double crochets together all the way across. 2 doubles, 2 doubles. I had to adjust my ring. It's spinning on me. It was like 2 months ago. It was so tight I had to take it off. And now it's so big it's spinning. And we are down to the last 2. We're going to double crochet those 2 together. And we're going to do the same thing for the next row. We're going to chain 3. And see how it's pulling it together? It's closing it this way. This will help it to fold over itself a little bit when it's hanging. So it won't be like so flat. You'll see. You'll see. And it also is closing in so we can get in closer. Now we're going to take and we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to do 2 double crochets together in the first 2 stitches. And continue it all the way across. And we're going to do a couple of rows of this until we have about 5 or 6 stitches across the top. Oops. Slippery little sucker. I know that there's a lot of background noise you guys can hear. Little man is playing Mario Kart on the big TV in the living room, and he's talking to the TV. I'd say he's talking to his sister, but she's in there with him, but she's clearly ignoring him. She's got better things to do. Chain 3 when you get to the end. Turn your work. And see it's closed in even more. See that? I'm going to do it again. Same thing this row. We are going to 2 double crochets together. Oops. Keep sliding out. Chain 3 at the end. And see, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have, well, nope, that's not a stitch. We have 5 double crochets. You could have 5, you could have 6. It depends on how you do the decreases. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to put a double crochet in each of those 5. And actually, I'm going to put a 6th one at the end, just so that it's an even amount. And I'll show you why I want to do that. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. See, now we're down to 5 double crochets. Or 6s. 6 double crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in that last one. Chain 3, turn, and 6. Chain 3 again. Turn your work back over. We need 6 double crochets in every row till you get long enough. We're going to keep doing this strap until it is long enough to fold over, button here around wherever you're hanging it from. So you're going to probably want to measure that. Like if you want to hang this over your stove, take your tape measure and wrap it around your stove handle and determine how big around that is. And that's how long, you want to make sure that is longer than that number by at least an inch. So if your circumference around your refrigerator door handle or oven handle or your towel bar in your bathroom, all of those things, if it's like 4 inches around, you want to make this strap 5 inches, for example. It all depends on how long or how wide around. I have made the mistake of making the strap too small and I couldn't fit it around my towel bar, so I had to take the button off and move the button, and I was so mad. I was so mad. I have also accidentally put the button on the wrong side. So I had a design on this side and the button was on the back side. So I had to hang it up the wrong way so that the button was facing the back. I was angry about that too. But you know, mistakes happen. The reason we're doing double crochets here is so that you can put a button through that hole. So you don't have to make an extra buttonhole. You don't have to do nothing extra. You just find a button that is small enough to fit through that hole. And you can find buttons at the thrift stores very easily. There are buttons at antique shops, like if you have like a antique shop around you, junk stores. And of course you find buttons at like all the craft stores at Walmart, because you're going to need a button. Or sometimes if you have extra buttons laying around from like, sometimes you'll buy like a new shirt and it'll have a spare button, but you know you're never going to use a spare button. You could use one of those spare buttons if you got those lying around. If you got an old shirt you don't wear anymore, you could recycle the buttons off of it before you throw it away. Lots of places to get buttons. My buttons, my buttons mostly came from the thrift store. So I love looking at thrift stores and seeing craft supplies. It's like my favorite place to get craft supplies is the thrift store, because a lot of it is like older stuff that they just don't make stuff like that anymore. Especially buttons. Like buttons are now made out of a lot of cheap plastics and like they're just not cute. And sometimes you can find some really unique old wooden buttons or old clay buttons or old fabric covered buttons at the thrift store. And since I'm just using it for stuff like this, like I need a variety of buttons. I like to find buttons that match the towels in some way. Of course, you can use any old button. It don't have to match. It could be black, it could be white, it could be purple, red, gray, it doesn't matter. But I like to try to coordinate the buttons with the yarn. That's just what I like to do. Now, I know from experience that my towel bars are about 3 fingers for me. So I'm not going to measure this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my 3 fingers together like that. And when I can very loosely fit it over, I know that my strap is long enough. But I have kind of big fingers. So for me, let's see, this strap is about 6.5 inches. So I think 6.5 inches would probably be a good length for the strap. For you, you could go 7 if you want to make sure, because at the very least you'll just have where you can pull it down further and the button will be up higher. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to call it. I'm going to say I'm done. Now what I'm going to do here to end this off so it's not flat is I like to give it a little rounded effect. So I do half double crochets, 2 together on the outside like that. And then a half double crochet here in the middle. Another half double crochet in the middle. And then my half double crochet the 2 ends together. And it just gives it a slightly rounded effect. Now if you're worried about your edges, you want to go around, you can totally just take this and do single crochet around the entire edges. And I have done that in the past. I'm not doing it today, but if you want to, feel free. Let me find my scissors. I'm going to clip that. And this is how much I have left from the second skein. So I have enough here to start a washcloth or mix in a washcloth. And I'm going to pull out a yarn needle. Tie that off. Weave in our ends. See, it just gives it a little bit of a softer edge. Holding the wrong tool. And then we're going to weave in this end. And then I'm going to show you guys how to attach the button. I'm actually going to show you my buttons. I'm going to dump them out on here and pick one, because that's how I can't just dig in there and grab one. I dump my buttons on the table, which is going to be loud. So I'm just preparing you. If you're the type that listens to this with your headphones on, opening the buttons and dumping them is going to be a little bit loud in a minute when I get done sewing in this end. And then one more time to make sure. I always try to weave it back and forth like 3 times because I feel like 2 is not quite enough. 3 is perfect. And if you do 4 back and forth, it gets a little too thick. And then trim that. All right. So I'm gonna move the crochet hook because we're done. Put our darning needle back. Now, inside here, I always keep thread and my needles. Always keep that in with my buttons. And then I have so many buttons. I don't like this style for these because they snag too much. I like the smooth ones. I think that's actually a really pretty color. I have designed ones. I have lots of, ooh, this one's perfect. I found it. That's a perfect one. And that, you can see, is an antique button. It is very pretty. It matches. And here's the true test. Does it go through the double crochet hole easily? Yes, it does. That's all we need. That's our button. I thought I was going to get to show you more. But see, I have cloth covered antique buttons. I have obviously newer buttons. I have lots and lots and lots of buttons. Cloth covered, cloth covered. That one is very antique. I like my old buttons. I have so many different variety in there. I also, it's not just all old buttons. Like I got these from Hobium, which I have not even opened yet. Hobium thrift store. Hobby Lobby. Joann's. So, all right. Now, here is how we are going to attach our button. Whoop. Get a hunk of thread out. We don't need it too big. And yes, my needle is in my mouth. All right. Now, I don't think I have my glasses in here. I really need to order some of those snap-in needles. Because, good Lord, that is hard to see. All right. Thread it. Pull these 2 in half. Put a knot in the end. Now, to attach this, this is my trick. We're going to fold that in half. That's what it's going to look like. We're going to take the spot where you have some of your decreases right here. So we're going to find the center area. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is the center. We're going to grab some of that yarn. Then we're going to take the end of the yarn where we made that knot. We're going to put it over the needle so that we're creating another knot here so that it's locked on. Okay. You can give it another little pass through just to make sure. And then we are going to lay the button on top of here, poke it through the hole. Oh, that's such a pretty little button. It's such a pretty little button. We're just going to keep going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. This is for those of you who've never sewed on a button. Then you find the hole, which sometimes takes a little while. You just keep going in one, out the other. You want to do this as many times as you can. And eventually you will feel the needle starting to get tight in the little hole, especially if it's a small hole, because there will be so much yarn in there that it will fill up the hole. And that's kind of the idea that you want, is you want to make that yarn like really snug in there. What a pretty little button. I didn't even know this little blue button was in here. And it is so epically perfect for this yarn. and to match the kids' bathroom. Ow. Poked myself. Only here on Cinnamon Stitches do we stab ourselves with needles. We impale ourselves. At least it's not bleeding. That hurt. All right, see, we just keep on going. I think maybe, yeah, see, now it's starting to get thick in there. Maybe 10 passes. You don't have to really count. You just want it to be, secure on there. And it's something I do that I don't know if this is correct or not. This is something I was taught to do years and years ago. You come out, you wrap it around the stitches, and then you go back down. I don't know what that's supposed to do, but I've always done it. All right, when you come to the back, we're going to tie this off now. And this is where, if these stitches are like, see if they're separate here, if that happens back here, you can take your needle like this and pull the stitches together and sew them together. But I've done a pretty good job of keeping these, like, look at those, are really tight in there. It's really tight, really secure. We're going to pass it through, pull it through again, and go into the loop. I know it's really hard to see. And then create a knot. And you're going to just do that a couple of times. And then we're going to do like a triple knot. So you pull it through, you go into the thread loop again, but you're going to twist it around like 1, 2, and 3, and pull it all the way tight through. Okay. Then we just pass it back through so we don't have any outlines. And then cut that tight. You have a button. Okay. Then you can bring your, and this is totally adjustable. Like if you made your loop too big like this, you just bring it down, pop it in another hole, and you just have a bigger strap down there. It's not a big deal at all. Now if it's too small, that's going to be an issue, but there you have it. There is our beautiful little hand towel. What do you guys think? Is that fun or what? And you can make this longer if you want. You can make this as long as you want. You can make it shorter if you want. Although this is kind of on the short side for most of my towels. But this is going upstairs on a towel bar that is above a toilet. So it needs to be a little bit shorter. A little bit shorter. And you see how it comes in right here? When you hang it, it helps it to fold over more like the hand towels that you purchase from the store. It will automatically fold the ends over a little bit when it's hanging and give you that beautiful, beautiful hand towel look. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I actually had a lot of fun making this one, so I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And of course, as always, if you make a hand towel and it is of this design, I want to see it. Send me pictures, tag me on Instagram, post it in the Facebook group, put it in a video if you're a podcaster. I want to see your guys' hand towels. I want to see these created. I want to see what you guys make and what color designs you do. And remember, you don't have to have it all one color. You can stripe in different colors to add effect. You can put appliques on here. There is so much you could do with this towel to make it unique, make it yours, and make it joyous for the holidays, of any holidays you celebrate. All right, guys, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.